One. It's 9 minutes away from 8, breakfast on a Monday morning. They call him the restaurant genius, having twice revived London's prestigious Ivy restaurant and relaunched a number of high-profile eateries all over the world. Now, the Restaurant Association in New Zealand has brought Fernando Pairi here to run classes for New Zealand restaurateurs, and he joins us now. Fernando, good morning.
Hello, Paul.
Pleasure to have you here with us. What advice can you give to someone whose business is in the toilet?
Crikey. Right, well, how did they get into the toilet is the first question, and it needs a bit of serious analysis.
Because you would walk into a restaurant, and how quickly can you determine when things are badly out?
Oh, that's fast. The diagnosis is very fast. It's the remedy that's a little bit slower, because people don't like taking the medicine, really.
Is it sometimes that the wrong people get into the business?
Totally. Yeah, it's a very easy business to get into, because all you need is a bit of capital. But people underestimate how much capital they need, and also how difficult what looks very easy is.
Mm.
You know, it looks easy to run a restaurant when you're sitting there having a glass of wine and everyone's having fun and the boss is kissing the actress as she comes in.
Yeah, it's everyone's idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, oh, I'd like to swoon around and make people happy and jolly, but there's a lot more to it.
Totally. Yeah, who's buying the stuff in the morning? Who's putting the bins out at 2 in the morning?
Yeah, who's shouting and hollering in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Where do the importance, where do the things stack up? Because you've got the environment that you create for people,
yeah.
You've got the service, which is all so much part of it, and then further down the track, actually, you've got to front up with some decent food.
Yeah. The food is not, for me, the food is not what it's all about. Restaurants are about people, really, and that's the complicated part, you see, because you've got to get the staff to be happy, smiley, please the customers, and then the customers have to kind of behave well in a way as well. You know, going out to eat is not so straightforward, and there's a lot of tension there, really.
There are a lot of different reasons that people go to certain restaurants too, aren't there? I know that there are certain restaurants which are formidable, and people go there for the challenge of trying to have a good evening because they know the people who run the restaurant know a lot more about food than they do.
Well, that's true, yeah. It's a kind of rite of passage, really, isn't it? When you're living in a cosmopolitan society, you are where you eat as much as you are what you eat, you know, which used to be the catchphrase in the 18th century.
We often say that we don't really understand good service in New Zealand. You know, we think that we're perhaps a little bit behind the eight ball when it comes to service.
Yeah.
What's your experience been in New Zealand?
Well, I only arrived on Saturday morning, so I've only had a couple of days here, but I've been talking to a lot of restaurateurs,
yes.
And they've made it pretty clear to me that working in restaurants still isn't seen as a viable profession. You know, that restaurants are owned by entrepreneurs or big business, and then you've got the managers and the staff who are just staff who don't see it as a career and something that's going to carry them forward for the next decade. They're just in there for a while, you know, earn a quick buck and then decide what to do next. But it seems to be a business full of sort of temporary staff, really.
Let's talk very quickly about the Ivy, because you've worked there twice, and on both occasions you've injected more magic into it. Is it hard when you have a restaurant which is known for a certain style, for a certain quality? Is it hard to take it to another level?
Yeah, well, everything's hard, isn't it? You know, if you're aiming to be the best, then nothing's easy. But I don't find it so hard because I really like what I do. I spend a lot of time thinking about it, and if you're focused enough on your work and what you like, then you'll always find a way of making it better. Really, about you know, if you want to polish the crockery every day or the cutlery every day, it'll be shinier next week. You know.
I mean, you'll be talking to restaurateurs in New Zealand who've got good restaurants, but they want to make them better. How big a challenge is that, to say, well, it's a brilliant restaurant, how do you make it better?
Well, it depends what you want to do. If you want to just, let's say you want to make more money out of your restaurant, well, there are ways of doing that. You know, maybe by introducing a new menu that gets people to eat in earlier, and you push your 7:30 people a little bit later, then you could get maybe half the restaurant full again early in the evening, for example. It seems to me that everyone wants to eat here at 7 or 7:30.
So you're teaching tricks of the trade?
Yeah, of course.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us, Fernando. Lovely
It's
to
a
have you.
pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Wouldn't it be lovely to actually go out for a meal with Fernando? Would that be lovely or would that be a nightmare? Would that be a nightmare?
I think it would be lovely.
It could, well, yeah.
Depends where you take him.
Just quickly, I've read somewhere recently too about the whole 7:30 thing. What time in the UK with most people would a regular booking be made for?
These days 7:38, but about 10 years ago it was more 8:30.
Yes.
We've started to eat earlier as well. People don't like eating out at like 11 o'clock like they used to.
Partly it's weather, partly it's the pressures of work, isn't it? And partly there's the alcohol thing too.
I don't know, but you're
It's much
right. Sort of
stricter on-
7:30 seems like a normal time to make a dinner reservation.
Fantastic.